welcome to Ask Arcadia, where John Courtney Smith will be answering your questions. So first, why did you make the Arcadia Reptile ShadeDweller range?
We saw a real need for reptile keepers to have access to a lamp that provided for the UV needs of crepuscular species. Now before that we either had quite large T8 lamps or high output T5 lamps that were just too powerful to be used in enclosures that were either too shallow or not built in a way that allowed the full range of enrichment. So to design a lamp that provided for these animals in a safe and effective way the optimal UV index of 1 to 2 at basking in a reduced size lamp that's just 12 inches or 30 centimetres long really opened up the ability for reptile keepers to use UV with these crepuscular species like leopard geckos at the time, and that really was the target market. We wanted to create a lamp that was absolutely perfect for leopard gecko keepers.
Why did you make ShadeDweller Max?
We saw a lot of feedback coming in through the keeping groups and direct messages for us that a significant amount of people were using the 8-watt 7% ShadeDweller lamp with their snakes, and it was a perfect choice really. The only issue that we saw, of course, the most popular snakes, corns, kings, rats, royals, are by definition quite big animals and kept in much larger, or should be kept in much larger enclosures than your average leopard gecko. So we set ourselves the task of creating the ultimate lamp for snake keepers that would provide safe and effective levels of energy over a wider space. And so we came up eventually after a lot of research with a 14-watt standard output lamp. So it's twice the length of the 8-watt lamp, but it still provides that target index of 1 to 2 at the basking point. And so that's where ShadeDweller Max came. It's an energy efficient 2-foot or 60 centimetre lamp that will easily cover the body of a snake whilst coiled at the basking point.
What is the difference between ShadeDweller Pro and ShadeDweller Max?
So this is a ShadeDweller 7% 8-watt 12-inch 30 centimetre lamp. This is what comes in your ShadeDweller Pro unit. This is your ShadeDweller Max 14-watt lamp. As you can see, it's roughly twice the length. Twice the length is twice the light output. It's roughly twice as bright as this lamp. So ShadeDweller Pro, the 7% lamp, created really particularly for species like the leopard gecko, ground-dwelling terrestrial species. It's been used and can be used for many other species, of course, depending on the distance to basking. So it's a very adaptable, useful lamp to have in the range. ShadeDweller Max actually has the same kind of output as the 7%, even though you might see it says 2.5% UVB. So because the lamp is brighter than the 8-watt lamp, that's a doubling of energy over the whole spectrum. It means that we don't, to achieve the same UV index that we want at basking of 10 to 12 inches, we have to reduce the percentage of UV to get the same result, because all light is increased. If you look at the UV index output for that lamp, it's almost identical to the 7% lamp, and that's purely because the lamp is nearly twice as powerful by definition. So it's a good, energy efficient, crisp, white, full spectrum lamp with the correct amount of UV to create the optimal basking index at the average basking heights for most snake keepers. We designed it to be used in cages that were 3 foot long or more, but ideally around that 4x2x2, where you could light half of the cage and still leave plenty of room for self-regulation.
Can ShadeDweller Max only be used with snakes?
No, ShadeDweller Max can be used for a whole host of species. As long as the UV index projection values match the need of your species, you can use it. Can you use it for leopard geckos? Yeah, if you keep a leopard gecko in a 4 or 5 foot long enclosure and you want to illuminate more of that enclosure and have multiple basking points, absolutely. We use them a lot for amphibians, where we have either very tall or quite wide enclosures. Then we'll use the 14 watt lamp to fill the space properly for those species, wherein a 24 watt high output lamp would probably be too powerful. So just like the 7% 8 watt lamp, you can use it for many species: inverts, amphibians, snakes, any kind of crepuscular species. But just check the charts on the back of the box and you'll see the UV index projection, and you'll be able to attune that to the need of your animal. The Arcadia Reptile Lighting Guide exists. It's nearly 600 species now. You can easily check that as well.
Can you link a ShadeDweller Max to a Jungle Dawn LED bar?
Yes, you absolutely can link your ShadeDweller Max to your Jungle Dawn LED bar. All light is energy and all energy is used. So providing extra energy through visible light to your snakes is just as valuable as it is for any other species. They may go off and hide, but they will come out and bask. There's a couple of reasons why we suggest this. Having a bright illuminative cycle helps with key processes in the brain, is attractive for basking, but it also allows you to grow live plants and grasses in the viv, which can help freshen air, add enrichment, and generally just make the viv a more attractive place for you to view and for the snake to live.
We hope you've enjoyed this first episode. If there is a product you'd like us to explore more, please let us know in the comments below.